Shalom. My topic is about this prophecy of, I could say this is my part 2, because last time I made a topic which is in my dialect, which is Bisaya. I will try to do it in English if it's possible, so that some can understand. Even I'm not pretend to anything, but I would like to share what I have understood in Torah concerning this prophecy of ESAU and Jacob. So I've spoken in the last of my topic was concerning these two who was being bear in the womb of Rebecca. So we have to go there in this chapter, in the first book of the Torah, which is the Bereshit 25. So in the beginning he was barren. Rebecca cannot give child, so Isaac entreated Jehovah for his wife because she was barren. So and Jehovah was entreated him, and Rebecca his wife conceived. So Rebecca got pregnant, and the children, the womb inside was two. They were twins. So in my last study in the part 1, I would say that was my part 1 about Esau and Jacob and the 666, which I titled from that. This one, so if you continue to verse 22, he get pregnant and he get two child in the womb, which is they were struggling together inside. So it is Rebecca. She was questioning, wondering why the two is something struggled in her womb. And Jehovah said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, two nations and in their womb, and two manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger, and the other people and the other elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So if we go over in the verse 26, he said, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. So in Esau's heel, he's holding the Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, or Yaakov in Hebrew. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So that was the story of giving birth from these two twins in the womb of Rebecca. So now this is really a prophetic meaning. There is a behind from this simple story of these two twin brother born from Rebecca. So we have to know that Esau represent the earthly kingdom, because he said these are two nations, the two nations in the womb of Rebecca. So I don't make it longer much what I have understood from these two boys in the womb of Rebecca. So they came out, and Esau was a really red, hairy boy, and the second one is Jacob. So Jacob, who was holding the heel of his brother Esau. So first come out, it was Esau, and after that it is Yaakov. Now, when we begin the story, it's just like a story, but behind it, it's a very powerful story that is really a prophetic. There's behind from this story that we have to ask Elohim to understand. So I would like to share with you my understanding of these twin brothers who came out from the womb of Rebecca. So now, when we see Esau is the first who come out, is a kind of the nation of Esau who is earthly. You have to know what is his character of ESAU. You know, from the beginning in the story, from Genesis, start from Cain and Abel, always two. You know, good and bad, evil and good. You see? So it runs all throughout the story of the scripture from that. Evil and good represent. So now it's only the good. What is only good is the Torah of Elohim. So if you out of the Torah, there's only two ways in this world. If we are out of this Torah, then you are outside. You are from the world. You are from the darkness. If you want to be in Elohim, you have to be in the Torah. That would be your step, your journey. You carry that in your life, journey in this world. When we are born in this world, so when we walk, when we grow until, and then we'll be. This is because this is our guidance here, which is this place is no more the presence of Elohim, because this place is actually darkness, and in this place, in this darkness, it is death, because this is the place where Adam and Hava thrown out when they or disobey or they rebelled unto Elohim. So let's gonna read with that. So this is what we read in Genesis, in Bereshit chapter 2 verse 2:17, and he said, "But the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for the day that thou eat thereof shall surely die." Shall surely die. This is, we go by verse 16. "And Jehovah Elohim commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eat thereof thou shalt surely die." So you see, Adam and Hava they died. Where did they die? Where did they die? They died in the place of the Garden of Eden. They died. So this place is were all dead. Dead what? In the presence of Elohim. And Elohim chose a nation. And this is now why we have the two nations in the womb of of Rebecca. This is the nation, Israel. Israel. Why is Israel? Why does Elohim love Elohim? The nation of Israel. Why not Jacob? Why not Abraham? Why not Isaac? Why called Israel? So you have to know the meaning of Israel, how to become an Israel. Jacob was not called in the beginning Israel, no. He was called when? You have to know that. When does he was called an Israel? An Israelite. He is the father of all the Israelites, the children of Israel. Why? You have to understand that in the deeper of, and you know, somebody teach about that, about this Jacob ladder is very powerful in Hebrew, because he is a Yehudim, a rabbi who believe Mashiach, who believe Yeshua as the Tzaddik one. So this way, the full of Revelation is very clear. Now for me, it's more clear to see that, but I cannot express well to detail about in Hebrew. You know, I am not, my language is far from that. So now, you see, Elohim chose a nation of Israel. So many. So this is the two wombs. Now, in this place, in this earth, where Hava and Adam was thrown out, they were dead in the Garden of Eden. They were dead. So this place is dead in the eyes of Elohim. What makes alive in this earth was those the people of Elohim. And who are they? Those who makes this whole earth become light, become part from it is this earth is dark. It's like a worm in the mother's womb. It's like a worm who is dark, very dark. Water is a dark place. This earth is dark in the eyes of it. Elohim cannot dwell this place because this is not his place. As he said, he only will dwell among his people. This is why he chose Israel as his nation to serve him. That was the reason why they go out to Egypt, so that they will serve Elohim. Not that you will do what you want. No, you will serve Elohim, and you follow Moshe. They follow Moshe to go back to the promised land, to bring them to the promised land, which is the place will be the garden. That was the physical story. That was the physical story of the children of Israel during the time when they were in Egypt. So now the spiritual story, what will come the effect of this is the coming back of Mashiach. Those today who walk in the spirit and in truth, this will get the reward of Elohim, will enter to the promised land. Why? I will give you the reason why they will enter to the promised land. We are in our journey today. We are in very close time to go in. Elohim is bringing his people. We are in the journey of our wilderness. So now, these two nations, which is represent ESAU and Jacob. So ESAU represent, he is a man of hunter. He is an earthly person. He do what he want in his life. He don't obey his parents. He do what he want. He married Canaanite. He didn't he married a Canaanite. He knows as his father that Isaac that only marry to his kindred, but not to the Canaanites. He warned that. But what did Esau did? He go to marry Ishmaelite. He go to marry to Canaanites. All these pagans, all these Ishmaelites. Well, today when you say Ishmaelite, it's not the Muslim. They are not Muslim. You want to say Ishmaelite idols, they're purely Arabs. That are the Ishmaelite. Those mga Muslim or those Muslim today, they are mixed. They are mixed from every. Some are converted. Because they were in the east. All this persecution there. Also, there was a persecution in the many villages in the east country were also persecuted to turn into, like for example in Iraq. I have some classmate before that they were persecuted. They were a refugee here in France. So they were seeking for asylum because of the persecution in their country, that they need to be, because in Iraq, all those who they will not convert into Islam, they will be dead. So because they were Christians, so many die there. So this, I don't say when they are East, they are not all are Muslim. They are mixed, because this is the place where also many the descendants of Israel scattered in this area. There are many there. Maybe they are lost their identity and they become, Muslim, but not really. But in their heart, they are in the children of Israel. So now we cannot say that. So now Esau, he married Canaanites, he married an Ishmaelite. He provoked his father. He's really a rebellious son. So his character is not, because from Abraham, Isaac, they were learn the Torah. Abraham went to learn in Shem's house. So this is why the Torah comes down from generation to the generation. They carry that and they teach too, because that is the commandment. If you read in 6 Genesis, Deuteronomy 6:4, Shema Israel, Yehovah Elohim, Yehovah Echad. So this from generation to generation. It was been to teach the children when you lie down, when you sit down. It is written there, so that this Torah must be taught in the family. When you always be in the family. Start the assembly of Elohim will start in the family to the mother and the father. So now Jacob's life was, he's listening to the parents. They are very obedient. See, Jacob, he's living in the tent. He's a tent man. He's a shepherd man, Jacob. So he was taught by his father. He's obedient, and Isaac was told him to told him to, when he lived in the place Canaan, because of the problem of this inheritance, they were strife, dispute from that, because Rachel, Rebecca received the what was from Elohim, that this young man, this Jacob, because it is written, the youngest will serve, the eldest must serve the youngest. We're gonna read. Here it is written, and Jehovah said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from the bowels. And the one people shall be stronger, and the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. The elder shall serve the younger. How come Esau served the younger? How can the elder, who is the one who first out was Esau, and he will serve the younger? How come? So that is also prophetic na siya. Very prophetic story, because behind that, in the end of this kingdom of this world today, Esau will serve Jacob. It doesn't mean this is represent, I told you, the evil and the good, the flesh and the spirit. Jacob represent the spirit, and Esau represent the flesh, which is in us, the evil inclination and the good inclination, Yetzer hara and Yetzer tov. So you see, it's always only in 2 that we have to choose in life. So Esau represent the flesh. So I will show you why we have Esau is representing the flesh in us. Why? Because it is said that the elder shall serve the younger. So Jacob, why does he called become? I said, Jacob is equal to represent to the spirit, and Esau represent to the flesh. Why? Because Esau is an earthly, fleshy man, a hunter man who looks only in the natural way, whereas Jacob is looking to the promises of Elohim, what he was been taught from his father Yitzhak. He walked in the spirit. He trusts Elohim. He is full of imuna unto Elohim. So this is why Jacob was not called Israel before. He was been tested after that of his imuna. Challenge or trials of Jacob was on the way back to the Canaan. That was that he divided the children of Leah and Rachel to protect against, because Esau, when he heard that his brother on the way back to Canaan, and he want to kill. The only mind of Esau is to kill his brother Jacob. That was his plan, to kill Jacob, because of the inheritance that he steal the blessing from his father. So that was very tricky. So this way Esau was very angry, and even the inheritance of Jacob, which is the land of Canaan, was Esau want to take that land. So you have to know what's going on now with Israel, with the Jerusalem, many who own down. You have to know that, because the spiritual understanding what's behind on the story. This is not what you see in the natural eyes, but the way it's doing, that is the real story is between Esau and Jacob's fight, inheritance. So now, it is Esau represent the Nahash, and Jacob represent the Mashiach. So, with the 2, I say Jacob is represent the spirit, and Esau represent the flesh. So Jacob, that struggle in his life is still Jacob. But when he called Israel, he was called Israel when he overcome the fear against his brother, because his brother Esau want to annihilate Jacob so that he cannot have his inheritance. But what does Elohim change his mind? Why? It's because of the prayer of Yaakov, that he overcome this fear, and he gave unto Elohim, because he asked Elohim, you have told me that you will give me this promised land, and now my brother is coming to annihilate my clan. So this is what happened. This is the fear. Can you imagine, all the clan of Yaakov will be killed by his brother Esau. So this why that was the point that Jacob was called Israel. And for us today, if we believe that we are also the Torah, walk in the Torah of Elohim, we must be an overcomer of our fear. Fear of what? Fear of death. Fear of death. We have to overcome, and this is what we have to rely unto Elohim. So now, we have to rely. So, it's a very beautiful topic. So that's why Esau changed his mind when they meet one another. Change. It doesn't happen that he will kill, but the mind of Esau still want to get the inheritance of Jacob. So now, to make it short, this story, we go now in our time. Now in our time. Where is Jacob now? Where is Jacob? Where is Jacob now's descendants? Because it's two nations. Esau's nation and the nation of Yaakov. Right? The two. So now, where is this two? For now, in the earth, now. The two. Those who walk, as I said, those who walk in the spirit and in truth. Worship Elohim in spirit and in truth. Those are Yaakov. Those are Israel. The overcomer who walk in the spirit, walk not in the flesh. When you walk in the flesh, that is your Esau. Esau who walk in the flesh. So when you walk in the flesh, that is, you represent, it means you in yourself, because we have two entity in ourselves. The evil inclination and the spirit and the good inclination. The flesh and the spirit. Shaul spoke about that in Romans. So now, these two, this flesh must be under or submitted over to the Ruah. So that, because this Ruah will act, whatever you have learned from the Torah, you study, you meditate, because it is written, the Torah will change the soul. Torah is perfect, converting the soul. The Torah must be meditated day and night, and we apply that in our life. So if you have no appetite to learn from that, then you are outside. You walk in the spirit. You walk in the flesh. I'm sorry, because it is so. So now, here, this is why I said in the beginning that Elohim cannot dwell this. What does he said? He will dwell among us. We are individually the temple of Elohim. Elohim can live in us if we walk in the spirit. When we walk in the flesh, is what Shaul said, do not quench. When you are in Mashiach, do not quench the Ruah, because he will leave from you. If you walk with the world, with the pagans, you are among this. Do you let this flesh roll over you? This why in Elohim, this why he always say, be kadosh, for I am kadosh. So Elohim cannot be in this world. If you are living in these worldly things, if you walk in the flesh, if you walk in the world, your life is worldly. Your life live in the ways of the world, ways of the pagans. You cannot even eat with them. We are wired for that. Especially when we are working, we eat with them. Myself ate. But your mind, we're not tasa. Where Elohim will not look at how he knows our situation, that we are in bondage on this earth. But he will see your heart, how you sanctify your heart. He will see that We cannot hide anything with Elohim. White lies everywhere, even to one another. When you win, even to one another, when you lie, so white lies. You are not honest. You are, because people doesn't want to admit things when they are wrong, when they hurt people. Then that's a different story. A heart of contrite spirit, a heart of humbleness. What I mean, what's mean humbleness? Because many things try to create to say something. What is humbleness? This is what they say, but you have to learn what is in the Torah, what is in the Tanakh, what is. If you know in the Torah, if you study the Torah, you will understand what is to be humble. Because humble, it doesn't mean that you are. I want to make it difference with the arrogancy and the boldness. Boldness is not arrogant. Boldness is stand for something what is true to you, and what you stand for it, what is good in the Torah. This is the difference. It's not a arrogant, prideful person. No. You stand what is from Elohim. You have not understood the work of Mashiach. You have to know understand the work of Mashiach. If you really, because many say, you're so arrogant. You're judgmental. No, I'm not judgmental. You're not studying your Torah. You're not learning. If you say like that, this is the many to accuse. It's better you just don't say anything that you speak. So you cannot reply with this kind of people, because if you reply to them, they will not accept that they are wrong. They will not accept, never even ask forgiveness to you when they are wrong. So it's better you keep quiet and avoid any confrontation from these people. So even in the field of believers, you will see with them, because this is the way when they're carnal. When they're carnal, then they will judge you. They even criticize you like that. It's like they are the one who is judgmental. You have to make a comparison, because you have to know the character of this person. If you know them, the life they are living, you see. So this is why Elohim wants his people to be set apart from the nations, from the heathens. Our minds, our thoughts, even eating with them, we don't avoid. But it's good today, because now we don't eat like beside, because there's time to eat when you're in your work. You eat beside, but today in one table we eat very far during our break time, for only 30 minutes our break time. So, and after that, go home, you make fun a bit little them, and then after you go home and finish. So your life is like that. There is a separation, a distance from your work, from the people outside, and how you live in your life. But here we don't have any neighbor. We are alone in this place, so we have not so much. Our neighbor here are the animals, or the wild pig, the wild cat, deer, birds. What we hear in our place. So we don't have so much. So now, this is the two nations where Elohim dwell today, is those among his people Israel. Those who receive Mashiach in them, that is the greatest privilege you can ever have with Elohim. Why? You are lucky. You are lucky when you receive that. This is why we need to work out this self. Elohim doesn't want with arrogant person, prideful person, haughty person. Because people who say that you are pointing at you, these are people not able to say sorry when they say something bad to other people. So, because many will not look at themselves how they behave also sa ilang self. This is among, you have to not to remember the wheat and the tares. They are among there. They are among there. So I don't know why I will not make the story. But because of the wheat is represent those who really walk in the spirit, and those who walk in the flesh will be burned, as an represent the ESAU will delete their ESAU entity, or the flesh person they have to rule in them. Because why Jacob is struggling? Because this is the battle between the spiritual Israel or spiritual Jacob that we have to overcome with the Torah. The Torah, the obedience to Torah. Because Shaul said the Torah is spiritual, cannot be natural. Then natural is what was we have learned, the story of Moshe. It is the natural. So this is why now the two nations, so Yeshua came, the Mashiach came, Yeshua, to restore what Adam has broke down. This is why Yeshua has to go unto death, obedient unto death, in order to redeem, like us, who has been brought to Mashiach. This is why you cannot reject with Messiah. When you will him draw you to Mashiach, draw you to Yeshua, the tzaddik one, the righteous one, you have the privilege, a very greatest privilege of Elohim. But this is only a gift that Elohim has given. But we have to work out with ourselves. This is to work out. Because we have to remove all these impurities we have, that we have inherited from Adam. As a fleshy person, fleshy, carnal, this is what we have to remove. Because if we have this spirit of forgiving, humble, not pride, don't say me about pride, because I am being accused of pride. I was become. Elohim knows that knows who really know me as I become. I'm not pride, but I am just bold enough to speak about what is from the, because I have learned 16 years of the Torah, and I need to apply that, and it's a very high call for what Elohim requires from you. You have to work from that, because everyone must be, the day will come, Elohim will require that from you. What are you doing from your talents? How talents, you don't hide that. The talents must become fruitful in your life. This is the meaning, fruitful in your life. The seed that you have received, the Torah must flourish in your life, must be bear fruits in your good fruit in your life. This way, when you see the parable of Yeshua, the Torah must be fruitful in your life. You will be in the image of Mashiach if you're working out for Him. Because it's not an easy way. This is not an easy way, because this way is many will persecute you, trials and tribulation with your own flesh, your own fellow brethren. They will accuse you because they are your own enemy. Did you know that they are your own enemy? Like his brother Jacob, his own enemy is his brother. Those who walk in the flesh, those who are carnal, they are the one who is your enemy. Because if these people let the evil inclination or the ego of themselves put it down, then they will not do that to you. They will not accuse you, criticize you. They will not put you down. It's like they condemn you in the body of Messiah, of your faith, because they don't speak before, because they don't speak like them. You don't have belief from them. You don't speak because you don't know our every walk, how you walk of yourself, if you are growing or not, if it's really for Elohim or you just for dogmas. No, for Elohim is relationship you walk. It doesn't matter how people look at you. You're alone. This is the same now. You don't want to be in the flock, to be part of the flock, which called the run unto the slaughter, no shepherd. This is what you want to be. The same today, the same what how the people, those in the believers in the body of Messiah who are carnal, walk in the flesh, pointing you, will point you, so and so. You're not like them. You see, you are excommunicated in the group, like so and so. You will be alone in your group because you are not like them. You don't speak like them. You don't believe the pillars of their doctrines. So you're out of this place, and those who are members will persecute you. So this saying, same feather flocks together. So, this is so, and these are so many. So now, Yeshua restoring this broken down, what was Adam was broke, the death. He has to restore this death into life. And this is Mashiach, who's the firstborn, will bring his people, those who walk with him, a parallel to his life, walk like Mashiach, will be also. This is why we undergo of mga trials and tribulation in life, because that is our mirror to Yeshua. We parallel to Yeshua. Because if you don't walk like Yeshua, suffering servant, if you are not suffering in yourself, because you like the fun in the world, you like to embrace what is in the world, you want to, everything what is futility in earth, if you want this kind of life, you're not walking in the spirit. Because walking the spirit is you go what the will of Elohim, and not to let your flesh draw you. So this is why Yeshua died and he was resurrected. And this is also for his people, that they must also die. The seed, we must die to ourselves. It is written that we have to die ourselves in order Elohim he can live in us. He can be among with us, to walk with him. So this is how Elohim dwell in his people. So now, concerning what's going on now, the story is like this now. Because I said ESAU and Jacob, the inheritance. Now we go in the inheritance. Jerusalem, Nahash 1:2. This why I will make it straight. This why they are pushing for the new world order. Why? Because, and this, what does the Jew they want to have there? Why they want to get this land? Why they want to get this Jerusalem? Why they are fighting, killing one another there? Why? It's because if you see Ishmael, you will ask Ishmael, he is the promised son. If you listen to the Muslim people, Arabs, they will tell you that Ishmael is the promised son. But the promised son is Yitzhak, not Ishmael. So now these three, Esau and Ishmael, and the three today, Esau, Ishmael. Where is Jacob here? No, Jacob is scattered. The descendant of Jacob is scattered. They're those who are walking in the Ruah, who believe Elohim. Naanay part, but this is why we have to work out of ourselves in order that we can be part of Mashiach's bride. Because this is not for the people. It can, yes, of course, because it's written that the Israel can be, of course, there will be the bones of the Israel will be raised. So we need to die in order that this flesh will decay completely, and it will be restored in the image of Mashiach, who is light unto Elohim, light of the world. So we become the image of Mashiach. So today, in Jerusalem, if you listen to the Judaism, they want to have the third temple to be built in order to have Mashiach. This is not the Mashiach there, because the one who is there controlling this land, this is what Yeshua said, the one who is in the synagogue of Satan, who want to steal this place. The new world order is the world. This is what he planned. He planned. The new world order is to plan as Jerusalem is the place he will sit in this place, the kingdom. Because Mashiach, as I said in my many times that time, Mashiach, this place is why there is, since in the beginning there is a fight, because this is not given to them. Nobody can own that. Only those who are special people of Israel come to Mashiach, believe Mashiach, was sent from the world, because we'll have in this place. For now, the Jews will say they want to build the third temple, and who will sit? And for them, they think that in order Mashiach to come, no, it's not the will of Elohim. The one they plan to sit there are those is Nahash will sit there. Who will sit there? Who will sit there? ESAU. As I told you, ESAU represents Nahash. It's a bit complicated if you will not understand this in the Torah, but it's very beautiful. It's because it's a spiritual understanding, not in the physical way. So this is why the inheritance there is fight by. And now the one who is there holding this Jerusalem is the Zionist. The Zionist is there. And this is what Yeshua said, the synagogue of Satan. He will bow down to you in Mashiach. Be patient. I'm coming quickly. I will let the synagogue of Satan bow down to your feet. This is the promise. Because what is the reason of Yeshua said? What is the reason? Because I love you. It was. Now, I will show you a revelation of this, what's going on today. I will write down. If you're listening to me, you will read here. Moderna, one of the injection owned by Melinda Gates Foundation. Moderna injection. Do you read that? Moderna. So I give you the revelation from this. And here, watch. Read this one. Turn it. You have to turn this if you read that. What is that? Today. What is that today? So, it is written Edom. Who is Edom? Who is Edom? That one is the one who want to sit for the plan. They want to have a temple in Jerusalem. That he is the one who will sit there because he want to steal this inheritance and from Jacob. But Jacob will represent Mashiach. When he come back, they will not own that place. They will not. There will be a chaos because that land is given only to Jacob, to Israel, the land of Israel. This is why called land of Israel, because Israel's land, his inheritance of Israel. Israel, because those Israel who are overcomer. I have make a video from that about Israel, an overcomer of this world, of this flesh, of the carnal person. Walk in the spirit, walk in the truth, worship Elohim in truth. These are Israel. They become Israel. This land will be given to them. They are the one will inherit. This why when Jacob he hold the heel of Esau, because Esau will soon serve the youngest, who is Jacob. He will serve. Why was he serve? Because Mashiach represent in the nation of Jacob. He is the one Esau will submit. Our fleshy, those who are today, the natural, the Edomites, the synagogue of Satan, of the Jew, the Zionists today, they will serve Mashiach. They will, what does Yeshua say? They will bow down to you in your feet. He said to the assembly of Delpia. Will bow down to you because I love thee. Just be patient, I'm coming quickly. That was he said. So, I hope this is a get you an you can grasp more to study on that. It's very beautiful. But I told you, nothing will third temple will build there, because the third temple will be in realize when Mashiach will come back. He will gather the whole nation, and it is Yeshua. When you say temple, this is why Mashiach for now he cannot execute as being a Mashiach, because he was spiritual. He was anointed to be a Mashiach, but he has no kingdom yet, because a Mashiach, you need a kingdom. So this kingdom will be realized when he come back. When he come back, Yeshua will come back and he will restore everything, and all this in the synagogue of Satan. You will see, they will taste the anger of Elohim, and it is Yeshua the one will put to straight everything what they are doing in darkness. He will be put to expose everything. The light, when you see the light, no darkness will see. This is the same in the mouth of the Mashiach. Will speak on it, and it will be destroyed by his mouth. It is written in, I don't remember where it was that. It will be in his mouth. He will destroy everything through his mouth. And you see the beauty of the Torah. If you understand that, then you can see really. This is why I call this said the neshama of the Torah. The Torah has a soul, because the Torah, as Shao said, is spirit. So everything, as he said in Isaiah, I think that the end will declare from the beginning. So behind that is something is you cannot see in the natural. So this is how Elohim will. But he said, I will show you my secret. I will give you those who fear him. There is story in this book, in the all scripture, all the Bible. There's story in that. There is a story. It's a connecting the dots. But it is Elohim will open our understanding if we are diligently seeking on him. So this is why the Jerusalem, they will not own that. Nahash cannot own that place. ESAU cannot own that place, because that is only given to Yaakov. And Yaakov, those will be gathered by Yeshua, because Yeshua will represent the king. He will have a kingdom. This is why the elder will serve the younger, because soon no more naman he will submit himself to the one who will rule in this earth. Mashiach will rule. So you cannot because what is written here, we're gonna see there and the Jacob's trouble. So okay, this is the last one. I will read the verse from Jeremiah 30. It is written, alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but they shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, says Jehovah of hosts, that I will break the yoke of thy neck, and I will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve the subs of them. Who was, if you remember, Jehovah said, I will break his yoke. Whose yoke? Of thy neck, and will burst thy bonds. Burst. And a stranger shall no more serve themselves of him. His yoke, the yoke of ESAU, that in the neck of Yaakov. Because he was speaking here, alas to Jacob's trouble. What I said is ESAU means he is the flesh, and will burst the bond. Elohim will explode. He will burst that. What has been a yoke in us, our fleshy. And the stranger shall no more serve themselves of him. So you will not serve anymore. And shall no more serve themselves of him. Of him. Who is him? He represents the yoke of ESAU. You want to read in Genesis about this. Now here in Genesis 27:40 it is written, this is the blessing of Esau. What left given from is Isaac. And he said, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. The fatness of the earth, you see? Earthly, all this material thing in earth. And of the dew of heaven from above. So, by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke, the yoke of Esau, yoke of Jacob to Esau, to Esau, off thy neck. You see, if you can see the relation from this Jeremiah, break his yoke from off thy neck. So if you read here, we continue in Jeremiah, for it shall come to pass in that day, says Jehovah of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds from the strangers, and shall no more serve of themselves of him which is your fleshy. You will not serve anymore your fleshy person. He will be into, because Elohim will, Elohim will do? But they shall serve Jehovah their Elohim, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear not, O my servant Jacob. You say Jacob, not Israel. Jacob, because this is not the says Jehovah, neither be dismayed, O Israel. Now he said Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. So Elohim will gather the descendants of Jacob, and Jacob shall return, and shall be in the rest. In the seventh day, when Mashiach come back, he will be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. No more afraid now, no more tears, no more mourners. For I am with thee, says Jehovah, to save thee. Do I make full end of the nations, all of nations whither I have scattered. Well, we are scattered today. Yet I will not make full end of thee, you, Jacob, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. This is what Elohim wants. He wants to remove his people, the fleshy, the carnal person, because he wants his children to be a spiritual children. Walk in the spirit, not in the flesh. And by walking that spirit is by when you put yourself to learn the Torah. That will make submit you your flesh. That's why we need the Torah. That's our life. This life or light, or the way we walk, it is written in Proverbs. Thy word is the lamp unto thy feet, and the light unto thy path. While we are alive here on earth, it is our light, our lamp, so that this is why Elohim will remove all this fleshy, carnal attitude we have, character we have in this two entity of the person. So as Shaul said, walk in the spirit so that you cannot fulfill the lust of the flesh. Shalom, shalom, shalom.